Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about this video today because it's going to be giving you guys a little bit more information about my recent trip to Tulum, Mexico. I went to Tulum for my 30th birthday and I had such an amazing time. So I'm really excited about sharing my experiences with you guys and all the things that I had the opportunity to do while I was in Tulum. When I was there, I didn't really have the opportunity to vlog as much as I wanted to, just because I wanted to just enjoy myself and be sort of like in the present. But the things that I did capture, I do want to share with you guys, and then also I want to give you some tips just in case you do decide to go to Tulum. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So when we first got there, we took a flight directly from the States to Mexico, and there's actually not a airport in Tulum. You actually have to get off in Cancun and then shuttle your way to Tulum. So we had arranged for someone to come pick us up and drive us to our Airbnb. It's about a 2-hour ride, but it took actually like a little bit longer just because it was like so much traffic getting there. But once we got there, we got settled into our Airbnb, which was absolutely amazing. I'm going to have a video of our Airbnb up soon so you guys can see how amazing our Airbnb was. And then so yeah, once we got settled in, we just kind of chilled. We decided to go into Tulum town. So there are two different sections, if you will, that kind of make up Tulum. There's like Tulum town, where it's more neighborhoody, it's more sort of like low key, kind of chill. And then there's the beach road where all of the hotels are and different restaurants and things like that. Like there are still restaurants in Tulum town, but it's definitely more neighborhoody, residential. And then the beach road is, you know, like I said before, where all of the hotels are. There are restaurants, there are shops, and it's a little bit more expensive to stay on the beach road than to actually stay in Tulum town. So if you do decide to go, you know, decide which place you actually want to stay at. So yeah, we decided to go to the supermarket, and the name of the market was Super Akiin, which actually translates into super here, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, we went to the market, and the first thing that I noticed when we were at the market is that they don't have a lot of variety that we have here in America. So, for example, like orange juice, like we have Sunny D, we have Tropicana, we have Florida Orange, we have Simply Orange. They only have one brand, okay? They only have one brand of orange juice and milk, things like that. And we were in the dairy aisle. We were looking for those items. We couldn't find them. They wound up being in one of the other aisles. So we grabbed some things from there. We grabbed some bottles, and we went back to our hotel. Our Airbnb. We kind of just chilled there, and got ready for the next day, which was really exciting because you know it's a full day in Tulum. So on our first full day in Tulum, we actually went down to the beach road to check out some of the beach clubs down there. So we called a taxi from an Airbnb. We got in a taxi. We went down the beach road. We went to Ziggy Beach Bar. We were really excited to go. We had to make sure we had made reservations in advance to get into the beach clubs, because a lot of beach clubs are right now taking reservations. They can't have too many people in the clubs at one time, so they always we had to make a reservation to get in. We made a reservation, we went in, and when we first got there, it was absolutely stunning. Just because like I don't think I've ever been to a beach club before, and I was like, oh wow, this is really like cool and exciting or whatever. And so, you know, we got our table, we sat down on the beach, we kind of was like overlooking the ocean, and we had some really good drinks, we had some really good food, and we just chilled, we just vibed. And then after we came from Ziggy Beach Bar, we went back to our Airbnb because I had to do a photo shoot. And I did my photo shoot, got dressed, did my makeup, and we went back to the beach road. And I had booked with Playa photographer. My photographer was Daniel, who's the owner of the company, and his assistant was there. So I had two photographers, and I had so much fun, you guys. Like, I thought it was really I was obviously a little bit nervous at first to have a photo shoot and have to take photos in front of people, a whole bunch of people. But I think like after a while, like I got a little bit more comfortable. Dane was absolutely amazing. He was so nice. And he actually came and picked us up from our Airbnb, which I thought was really nice. And he kind of took us around to take photos and things like that, because we obviously were new to the area, so we didn't really know where to go. And he also gave us recommendations for other places that we can go while we were visiting Tulum. If you are thinking about doing a photo shoot while you're in Tulum, I will book with Daniel. He is such an amazing photographer. Daniel's such a great photographer, so if you are in Tulum and you're thinking about doing a photo shoot, I would definitely book with him. Shout out Playa photographer. We really wanted to hang out with the Black traveling groups that are in Tulum, but I think that while we were there, they canceled a lot of their events, so we were really bummed out. We just decided to go to some of the places that night, that Daniel recommended. And one of the places was called Mystico. It was a hookah bar in Tulum town. So once the photo shoot was over, we went back down the beach road, which took forever because there's only one, there's like this bag floating around outside. I'm sorry, just like super distracted. But yeah, so we took forever to get back to our hotel because there was so much traffic going in and out from the beach road. There's only one road and it gets like so bad at night. It took us maybe like 1 or 2 hours just to get back to our Airbnb because it was so much traffic. But once we got back, me and my friends, we got dressed, we got all cute, and we went to Mystico, which is a hookah bar. That's what it is. I always forget what it is, but yeah, it's a hookah bar, and we just got some hookah, got some drinks, got some food. We just chilled. It was a nice vibe. I will say that Tulum Town is a lot more diverse than any of the beach clubs or restaurants that I've been to on the beach road. So we definitely felt more comfortable in Tulum Town because of the music, the vibe, the people were just more like chilling, cool, more diversity the better. So that was our night. We actually went into town like a few blocks over to where more of the neighborhood bars and clubs were, and I was definitely getting like downtown Philly on a Saturday or Friday night vibes from it. Everybody was kind of out just having fun. We had our mask on. We weren't out there like wilding out or whatever. So that was kind of like our second day. And I did forget to mention that, so before we actually had all of our activities on the second day, we did go and get tested for COVID. And because of the CDC guidelines, you have to get tested a few days before your flight out of Mexico to return to the States. A lot of places were offering rapid COVID tests. You had to pay like maybe like $20-$30. They'll do the test for you, and then they'll send your results back like within 5 minutes. So you guys don't have to worry about that going to like a hospital or like depending on where you stay, because I know like some places like they have COVID testing for the people who are staying at the hotels. But if you're staying like at an Airbnb or a hostel, they might not have those options available to you guys. But you will have the option of going to having the rapid test done. Like they have like a site set up like throughout the town so you can get the COVID test. So just keep that in mind. Like if you are thinking about going and you are worried about that, like the option is there, it's available. So we got that done that morning, and I forgot to mention that. Okay, so day 3, we decided to go to a local beach club that Daniel had recommended. It's called Kalita Tanka. It's a local beach club. We had to take a taxi to get to the beach club, and the cover was really cheap. It's like $15. We stayed there for like 5 hours, and it was really nice. Like it was really like kind of like low-key chill. They had two cenotes there. One of them was called the washing machine because it's like connected to the ocean, and the only thing that separates the cenote and the ocean is this reef. And then there's this other one that's kind of like towards the back of the beach club. I got into the cenote, and I will say, like, after I got out, I did feel like really refreshed and kind of like relaxed and things like that. And a lot of locals say that the cenote has healing properties, so I do believe them, and I would definitely recommend, like, if you aren't a cenote person, I would still just get in just to have that experience. So after we came back from the cenote, we went back to our Airbnb, and my friend and I went out to dinner. My friend wanted to get Thai food, so I looked up a Thai place, and we went to this one Thai place called Pho Thai, and the food was so good. Like, I feel like that was maybe one of my second best places to eat. And then, like, afterwards, like, okay, so here are some things you need to know about when you are in Tulum. Traveling is easy because you have the taxis. They don't have any like public transportation, and they also don't have Uber. One thing to know about the actual the way people drive in Tulum is very lax, and what I mean by that is people kind of, it's not very like strict how we drive in the States. Like, people kind of like adhere to most of the driving guidelines, but in Tulum they kind of just do whatever they want, and they kind of bob and weave through traffic, and sometimes it's bicycles, mopeds, and motorcycles like in the midst of that, and it can be a little jarring, especially for somebody like me, and I have like kind of anxiety about cars. And then another thing to know is that a lot of the roads are unpaved, so it can be mad bumpy, or just like you kind of in the back of the car, you just like because the roads aren't paved. So going back to the Thai place that we were at, we were kind of in the middle of nowhere because a lot of the places in Tulum are underdeveloped, or yeah, they still need to be developed. They're kind of like building it up, so we didn't have like an exact way to get back to our Airbnb, so we had to basically like walk. We had to walk in like these back alleys just to get it back to the main room, and I was in like heels and a skirt, so it was definitely like an experience. Like, I didn't complain too much just because I'm like, I'm in Tulum, like I'm just about to rock out or whatever. But it was like, looking back on it, funny because I was in Philly and I was like in the middle of nowhere, and I had on a skirt and some heels. Like, I would not be walking anywhere, but I just was like, well, you know, let's just see what happens. And thank God we got to the main room, and we got a taxi, and we wound up going back to our Airbnb. And I think that we just chilled for the rest of the night. But it's just funny to think about, like, we really was like in the middle of nowhere walking around. And I don't recommend doing that at all. Like, just always have a taxi on call. Like, that's what I would have to say. So our next day in Tulum, was my favorite day because it was my birthday, and I woke up and I think I went downstairs to like clean or something like that, and my one friend like called me in the room because she was like, oh, I'm having such a bad time, and I was like, oh no. So I was like trying to comfort her or whatever, and then like they were like, oh, well, do you guys want to take some pictures or whatever? And oh yeah, this nail, you see this? I broke this nail in a cenote, so this is why I don't like cenotes. But anyway, my friends like, oh, do you guys want to take pictures by the pool? So I'm like, yeah, I really want to get group pictures. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's go take group pictures. So we went upstairs to the third floor, and my friends was like, oh, surprise, happy birthday. And they had like all these balloons and a cake, and they were singing happy birthday, and I'm like, oh my god, that's so sweet. And they had like the best cake, and when we actually ate this cake was so good. I don't know where they got it from, but it was absolutely delicious, and I was so sad to throw it in the trash because of course, like, we weren't going to eat like a cake in like a whole cake in 2 days, but I ate as much as I could. It was so good. Like, oh my god, those strawberries were so fresh. Anyway, after that we did happy birthday, we went into town. I really wanted to go to Coco Tulum, so that's where we went. We went there for brunch because y'all know I love me some brunch. The restaurant, so Coco Tulum is a beach club, and then they also have a restaurant I guess they're affiliated with, but I don't recommend this restaurant at all. The the dish that I got was really good, but I would say like the fruit was really sour, and I think it was kind of like rotten or something like that. It was not good. And then I would say like the people just kind of kept staring at us, and it just made us feel like mad uncomfortable. So we just left because it was like, all right, we gotta go back to the beach club. So we went to the beach club, and Coco's so cute because it's all like white and kind of dreamy and just like made out of like wood and stuff like that. And we just got like some drinks and we just chilled, and we was just kind of like you know, having fun at Coco, celebrating my birthday. And then we just decided to stay on the beach that day. So we went to this other beach club called Coco Ultimate or Ultima or something like that. It's not Coco Tulum, that's different. It's a separate beach club. And we just got some drinks from there, and then we just decided to walk on the beach, walk down to see like if there was anything else sort of like going on. Yeah, we were walking, we were chilling, we were vibing, and we came across this one beach club called Akiin, and we sat down. And I think I did mention this, but if I forgot, like certain beach clubs, like you have to pay a cover to get in, along with your food and drink. So we had to pay to get into Akiin. It was $20. We sat on one of the beach beds, and we just kind of chilled for like a few hours. We had hookah, we had drinks, we had some food, and we just chilled. It was fun. I had a good time. Another few tips for you guys about just Tulum in general. Like if you are when you are there, I would recommend having pesos. That way you won't have to keep like doing the exchange rate. And then I will just also keep in mind that they usually do, especially at the beach clubs and the restaurants, they include the gratuity into a lot of the it's already included in the bill, so you don't really have to worry about that. And then, so like afterwards, after we came from Akiin, we just decided to go back to the Airbnb, and we kind of just chilled there for a little bit. And I guess we just decided to finish the night in Tulum town. I really wanted to go to Rosa Negra, but we didn't. Like, I think we just took too long to get there for our reservation, and my friends were kind of like tired or whatever. So we just kind of like went back to Tulum town, and we found like another restaurant there. Just we know we got some food, we got some drinks, we kind of just chilled, and we went back to our hotel, and that was our night. It was a really nice experience. I think like most of the time, especially at the Airbnb, like I would get up every morning and then go to like the pool area and just kind of like sit down and chill. I really like that. The pool area was so beautiful, and like especially during like sunrise. Oh, before I wrap up this video, I guess I just wanted to include some other things that I didn't mention. One thing is that Tulum, well, obviously it's in Mexico, so it's a Spanish speaking town. No, just because it's like a high tourist destination, that doesn't necessarily mean people understand English. So you definitely would want to learn some Spanish phrases before you go down there. Again, about the pesos, I would get pesos. I would have pesos on me because the ATMs down there, they do charge a lot. I would also set up a travel notification for a debit card or credit card. Some establishments will accept them, but if you don't set up one, then like obviously your bank might see that as like a fraud or something like that, and they might cut off your credit card, and you don't want that while you're on vacation. Another thing that I would be mindful of is just getting around can be a little bit tricky if you're like me and you have like a little bit of anxiety about like cars and things like that. The sidewalks in Tulum, they're kind of different than in the States. There's no curb to kind of like separate the sidewalk and the street, so it kind of bleeds into each other. And there also aren't any like crosswalks, so you kind of have to just like run across the street, which can be a little bit daunting if you, like I said, have anxiety like I do about crossing. It's not like it's in the States where you have like stop signs, or you have like the signals that tell you when to cross and then when not to cross. um oh, and this is one of the most important things. one of the most important things that you need to know about is that service in Tulum is really spotty. So if you're on a beach road, you're probably not going to have any service at all. Like some of the beach clubs, well, I'll say most of the beach clubs have their Wi-Fi, but they're not that great. So if you want to refer back to something, like say you wanted to take a photo on a beach that looks similar to this picture you saw on Instagram or whatever, you won't be able to get back to Instagram even if you did kind of like save it in one of your files. It's good to like maybe take a screenshot of it, save it in your pictures, and that way you can refer back to it, because you won't be able to, you know, you won't be able to refer back to it because the service is just like non-existent on the beach road. So definitely keep in mind that when you are traveling. So my last tip is that if you are in Tulum and you don't really want to go to the beach clubs or restaurants or things like that, and you do want to order out, they have this app called like Tomato or something like that that you can download, and you can have them obviously deliver it to you. It's kind of like Caviar or Guard Prop. So they do have those options. It's just a different app. So yeah, those are all the tips I do have for you guys. If you are thinking about traveling to Tulum right now, I would just be very mindful of the CDC guidelines. Be sure to socially distance and wear your mask, and then get tested when you can. That way you're staying safe and you're keeping everybody else safe. And I would also say that if you aren't following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Definitely give this video a like and subscribe to my channel for more lifestyle and wellness content. I wanted to end this video with basically saying that this trip was definitely very much a blessing, and I'm so happy that I was able to take it for my 30th birthday. It was definitely helped me feel restful and recharged to come back to all of my responsibilities here in the States, and I'm just very blessed that I was able to have that trip. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me at XO_Brittany Marie. Until next time, bye guys.